People's Climate March. We got it from New York. Join me if you can. It's I'm feeling flirty, flirty, burning oils, dirty, dirty. Everyone, feeling flirty, flirty, burning oils, dirty, dirty, feeling flirty, flirty, burning oils, dirty, dirty, feeling flirty, flirty, burning oils, dirty, dirty. And then it keeps going and keeps going, and then I'm out of breath already. But thank you, everybody. My name's Jill, and like Kat said, I'm with God Green. We are based out of Southeast Seattle, but we are, a growing organization and really, fighting for environmental justice. And we define environmental justice as the places where we eat, work, and play. In other words, the environment is our home and our communities. The Pacific Northwest is our home, and we will do everything it takes to defend it. And this is not new news. So communities of color have always been defending the environment since the time when indigenous communities were fighting against white settlers from tearing down their forests, from when communities of color are fighting against mass highways and transportation systems tearing their communities apart. We see the impacts of climate change happening already in our homelands and here in the Northwest. We live in the neighborhoods that are close to highways, railroads, and industries. We experience higher rates of pollution, higher rates of cancer, respiratory problems, and lack the resources to deal with the changes in the environment, such as heat waves and extreme weather, and also the resources to healthcare and higher education. And so for us, in order for our communities to thrive, we have to fight poverty and climate change at the same time. We are fighting systems of oppression, systems of inequality in our community that are historically happening to our communities here and there. And so for us, the impacts of climate change there's no denial that climate change is happening. Our communities are living and breathing it every day. So when we hear about oil trains coming through our neighborhoods, we have to fight it. We have decided to come here to the hearing today on Shell's massive new proposed oil by rail facility because our communities cannot afford any more sacrifices or compromises. We stand in solidarity with communities here and also communities in Anacortes who are living in these unhealthy conditions near the refinery, with indigenous communities who have taught us the importance of land and why we must defend it, and with other communities of color living in the U.S., living near polluted sites, especially our friends with Asian Pacific Environmental Network in Richmond, California, fighting against the Chevron refinery. We cannot support the Shell refinery, Puget Sound refinery proposed project because we don't want another source of pollution hitting our communities. We don't want units of trains, 102 tank cars transporting crude oil through our neighborhoods, the immediate health risks of our communities, and the possibility of explosions. This facility is supposed to unload a maximum of 6 unit trains per week, putting more and more of our people in the environment at risk. So when I think about, that's the immediate risk. And if you think about the more long-term risk of climate change, increasing hurricanes, heat waves, flooding, earthquakes, displacement, and more violence in our communities, if we continue down this path of extraction and consumption, this is too much. Just this past weekend, Typhoon Lando hit northern Philippines, where my family is from, and it displaced millions. The Philippines is being bombarded by climate disasters every year now. If we don't act now to reduce the use of fossil fuels, this will mean more loss of lives, more people harmed, and more people displaced. And so these consequences will disproportionately impact the people of the Global South, as well as working class communities and communities of color, indigenous communities, and marginalized communities here. It is corporations like Shell, whose thirst for profit has got us here in the first place. We can't keep going down this path. We need a just transition to an economy that meets the needs of the people and the planet. Living wage, green jobs that treat workers right, build our local economy, and invest in our people. That's the economy we want. So God Green joins with grassroots movements around the world to demand mandatory, not voluntary emissions cuts at the source. Keep fossil fuels in the ground. We reject fracking, nuclear power, carbon markets, and other dangerous technologies and false solutions. We support indigenous people's sovereignty and community-rooted solutions, including regional and local economic structures that support the production of renewable energy. How much longer will communities of color be put at risk? No one person or community is disposable. We demand justice for our communities and Mother Earth. No to oil trains! No